We are jumping into a conversation I'm extremely excited to learn more about. You know, Utah is home to some seriously smart, creative business brains, from kitchen table crafters to at-home entrepreneurs. How can you make sure your unique creative idea stays yours? We want to give you the knowledge you need to secure your creativity. Brittany Ratelle is an attorney for creative entrepreneurs. She joins me with 5 steps for protecting your big business idea. What a fascinating field of work you're in.
It's great. I mean, I get to work with the best people because these are creatives. These are people who are making stuff happen. You know, they are creating their beautiful ideas and they are launching it out into the world, and we want to make sure that is as smooth as possible.
And I can tell just in our short time together that you take their energy and add to it. I'm curious to know, how is your work as a creative lawyer, so to speak, different than that of a patent attorney?
So patent attorneys typically work with kind of your typical like nutty professor, someone who actually invents someone. So if you can picture like someone in a lab, like creating something that's going to be diagrammed, you know, a new way of, you know, it's a new shoe or a new software code, that is, you're going to want to seek out a patent attorney. And they're a special brand of attorneys. We like to think they're like the most nerdiest of attorneys, but
that's a compliment, right?
Yeah, that's a compliment. But like, it's the tallest pygmy. We're all nerds. But typically someone who does intellectual property law is where you do trademarks or copyrights, and that's what I do for people.
I have to imagine your area, though it's fascinating and an awesome niche, is a little frustrating at times. It feels sort of ambiguous. Is it really possible at the end of the day to lock down a creative idea?
Yes and no. You know, there's stuff you can do to protect it once it's out of your head and actually into something. So a lot of people, I think, get mistaken and kind of tripped up, and they think, well, I had that idea and someone stole it. And, you know, we can't protect your ideas while they're still in your brain, as brilliant as they might be. But once you put it into something, once you write a blog post about it, once you make a podcast about it, or a book or a course or something else that we can sink our teeth into, then we can start protecting it.
You need a tangible product of sorts.
That's what copyright is a tangible expression. Yeah.
And let's start with copyright. What's the criteria you need to obtain a copyright, and what exactly does that protect?
Yeah.
Big question.
I know, big question. So in the US, we're lucky that you actually get copyright protection as soon as you create something. So as soon as you write it down, even on a napkin, and scribble it, it's actually copyrighted.
So I was surprised to hear you say a blog post can justify a copyright.
Yeah, and so people can do their whole websites, in fact. You know, it's a lot of content. And sometimes you want to do, in blog posts, obviously, websites are updated. So it's something you have to keep, you know, looking at their schedule and updating it as you're updating your content. But as soon as you fix it, you can copyright it. Now, to register it is an actual process that you have to take with the USPTO office, or this would be the Copyright Office. And you pay a fee. It's under $100. You fill out a little form, and you give them a copy of it. So you like upload a PDF or whatever it is that you've created. And the reason why you want to actually register it is because if anyone starts to use it, you can get attorney's fees to actually go after that infringement case. You can also get statutory damages. So you get some like legal perks by doing it. So
okay, so that's worth doing.
It's worth doing, especially if it's something that you're making a lot of money off of, or it's something that's an important part of your business. Take those steps to register.
Now, did you just describe a trademark, or what's the difference?
That's copyright. So that's like something you do for like a book, a blog post, website, an ebook, a course, anything like that.
Then what's a trademark?
A trademark is what you do for your actual business name. So that's what the most common. So say like you were going to start a Brooke Walker line of amazing shoes, because you have great taste in shoes.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so Brooke Walker would be your trademark. You'd probably want to lock down that name because you wouldn't want someone else using Brooke Walker.
Can you trademark a name?
You can. You can if it's unique enough. Like if it's just one first name, like Brooke.
Or like Brittany Ratelle.
Brittany Ratelle,
I like your name. We're saying you need an agent around
I know, because I've got a great name. Yeah, thanks to my husband for that. So you can trademark things that are descriptive, you know, that are different from, you know, you can even do something in certain spaces. Like you could actually probably trademark Apple, just not in consumer electronics. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Because you pick the name and you try to protect it in what class of goods or what thing you're selling. And those could be goods or services. So
this is fascinating to me. In another world where I had bigger brains like you, I would have loved.
I'm glad you think it fascinating. Not everyone shares your enthusiasm.
Okay, your next advice for someone out there with a big creative idea or a creative business is to build relationships. How does this pay off from a legal perspective?
Because really, when you try to build relationships with an audience, they're going to come to you because they know that there's probably other things in the marketplace like yours. You know, it's pretty hard to have something that's completely original or unique. Sure. This is hard in 2018. However, only you can sell things the way that you do. So while there might be lots of baby headbands out there, they might not sell them the way you do. They might not be with your spin, with your branding, with your little pizzazz and secret sauce on it.
So build those relationships so they start to recognize you and your brand.
Right.
A non-disclosure agreement is a legal document, a legal term we hear thrown around all the time. How does that apply to the at-home kitchen crafter or the at-home creative entrepreneur?
Right. These are sometimes known as NDAs, and I would recommend that you want to be having one of those before you start sharing, a lot of your secret sauce with someone. So a lot of times this comes up when you're going to take on partners or investment, when you're collaborating with somebody. And if you don't have any kind of larger agreement or contract, then at the very minimum, you should have an NDA that sets out, this is my information, and it should detail what it exactly is that you expect to be kept confidential, and have that clear expectation.
And is this something that I call you to help me with, or is this a Control-P document that I can print off my computer?
You can find some online, but whether it's going to fit to what you actually do and what you want to keep confidential, perhaps not. So it'd be one that, I write these for people, I draft these for people all the time. So
you really want to encourage, no matter how big or small your business might be, even in its infancy, to be business-like in your dealings and your professional relationships.
Right. I think, a lot of, especially women here, we kind of shortchange ourselves and say, like, well, I'm just a blogger, I'm just an Etsy shop owner, and you're not just anything. You're a business owner, and even if that started out as a hobby and then rolled into something else, start treating yourself and investing in your business like it is, because a lot of us have big dreams, and we want to be able to carry that anywhere that your business is going to take you.
And you and I both, we all know someone who's had a little seedling of an idea that has grown into even million-dollar businesses.
Yeah.
So worth locking it down.
Right.
And worth taking those creative protection steps. Thank you. This was fascinating. You talk about topics like this all the time on your podcast, I know.
I do, yeah. On Law and Wit is my podcast, Creative Counsel for Entrepreneurs, because obviously I love talking about this, and I get that entrepreneurs are busy, especially moms like me who are hustling and doing a lot of things, and so sometimes listening is the best way to get this information right when you need it.
Law and Wit.
Law and Wit.
Awesome. Brittany Ratelle. I'll say your name again. I love it. Thank you so much.